Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how to change your dirt bike tire. In this case, it's a front tire. Sorry about how dirty it is. Here are the materials you'll need. You'll need your new tube, doesn't matter what kind. 3, they call these spoons, you'll need 3 of these. If you don't have them, I would recommend buying them because you'll use them a lot if you own a dirt bike. Because you gotta change the tires pretty often. You need 3 of those. A cup of water. A bottle of soap. Doesn't matter what soap. Any soap. Now let's get to changing. Okay, so after you've removed your nozzle and your little screw or whatever, after you remove those 2, set those aside. And what you're going to need now is the 3 spoons that I showed you earlier. I call them spoons. I don't know if you got another one for them. Here are these. These are, you can't even see that. Motion Pro. You're going to start at the nozzle. Put 1 in and go a little bit farther down. Second one in and the 3rd. So you're going to start at the nozzle again. Push it down and just go through all 3. Okay, so now you've done all 3. Pull them all. Let me make sure you can still see. Alright. You pulled all 3. Now you're going to take 1 out, the middle one. Okay, make sure you take the middle one out and move to the next spot. You can go either way. I'm just gonna see if I can get it in here. Okay, then again take the middle one out and move. And the tire gets pretty tight. The smaller the tire, this is off a pit bike. That's all I got. But the smaller the tire, the harder it is. So if you have a bigger bike, it'll be a lot easier. You see that's already falling out. Doesn't even matter now. Now you can just take a big old chunk. Right, now you've gotten this whole side to come up. Now I got some water in mine because mine's really dirty. So I sprayed it off earlier. Now what you're going to want to do is push this little nozzle and pull that out. And then you're just going to grab the whole tube, pull it out. So this is your flat tube. Now if you really wanted to, but what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to pump it up, find the hole, and then wherever the hole's at, we're going to see if there's a needle. So if there's a needle and you put your new tube back in, or if there's some kind of thorn, you put your new tube back in, then it'll just pop. So I'll be back in a minute. Because what I forgot in the materials was a pump. It's just a bike pump. Or if you have an air compressor, you can use that too. But you're just going to want to hook this up. And now from here, what we're doing now is finding the hole. Okay? There's 2 different ways to do this. One, both ways you gotta pump them up. Okay? So one way would be submerging in water and seeing where the air comes out. We'll do that one. And then the other way is listening and feeling for the air. And I'll show you both. First, I'll show you listening and feeling for the air coming out. Pump it up quite a bit. Take that off. Okay, now right away, I already felt the hole. I don't know if you can hear that. That's air coming out, and now. Okay, so that's the hole. I don't know if you can see that either. It's right there. Okay, you can kind of see it. Okay, now I'll show you the way that I was talking about, submerging in water. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so we have a pool. It's all this crap in it. If you don't have a pool, you can just get a bucket of water. But if you put it in there, see that air coming out? Once you cover the hole up, air won't come out. And then you can look around at other spots. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. But, yeah. Okay, let me get you back on the tripod. Alright. So now that we've found the hole, line it up so the nozzle and that little hole in the tire where the nozzle goes through. So it could be right here, or it could be right there. I don't remember which way I pulled it out. I think I pulled it out this way, but whatever. So now we're gonna get your finger in there and feel any thorns. Sometimes thorns come out, or maybe there isn't a thorn. Just to be safe, I'm gonna run this procedure. Okay, so I'm not feeling anything sharp. This isn't the smartest way to do it, because if you feel it, it might cut you. But if you got any other ways, you can use that. Now you're gonna want to get your new tube. Doesn't matter what kind. Take that out of the box. So you won't need the old ones, because this comes with new cap and that little thing. So you won't need to use the old ones, but you still can if you like those better or something. I don't know. So set these new ones aside. Try to keep them a little bit separate from the old ones. Depends on which one you're going to use. Now this is the new tube. We're going to take this and pump it up. But you don't want to pump it up like a lot. Just a little bit, okay? I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. So again, just a little bit. You can see how thin that is. I don't know if you can. But that's just barely pumped. Actually, I'm going to let a little bit more out. Okay, but this is so that when you're putting it in, it won't get tangled up in there. Now comes the soap and the water. Get some water and just put it around the tire. You can put it around the rim too. Now get your soap, put some on your finger, and rub that around. Now this is so that when you're putting the inner tube in, it'll slip in. You can also use Windex, but Windex dries really quick. So if you're like in the middle of it and you're going kind of slow, like maybe if you're a first timer or if you're just slow, doesn't matter. But you want to use Windex if you're going to be riding right after. Like if you want to change the tire or jump back on your bike, maybe you had a race or you're practicing, then you should use Windex. Then you just let the fingers off. But if you got time to wait, you have the patience, then you just want to use soap. So now you're going to get your new one. You're going to start with the nozzle. I don't know if you're going to let out a little bit more air. Okay, so first, you just stick the nozzle. Now, let me get you to zoom up on this. So right now the nozzle is not inside the tire. So what you're going to do is you're going to push it inside of the rim. Push a little bit of this inner tube inside. And just get it lined up. And then you'll see it start popping up. Now what you do is you get your little bolt and screw that on to the cap. I mean to the nozzle. I don't know what you want to call that. Whatever you want to call it. Just a little bit. Okay, so now you know that's not coming back out. So that's locked in place. Now you just go through and stick this tire or inner tube inside. And you want to make sure it doesn't get twisted. You want to keep it straight. Work at both ends. Now, I'm not a beginner, but I'm also not an expert at this. It does take some time to learn it, and you're definitely not going to get it right away on your first time. So don't get too frustrated, because on my first time, it must have taken us 3 times, because during the end, I'll show you how to do it right, but we pinched it with these spoons. But I'll show you how to not do that. Okay, so now we got it fully in. Now we've got to get this tire into the rim. Make sure. Okay, I just gotta check on the view every now and then to make sure I didn't move too much. You want to start at the nozzle again. And what I like doing is getting a little bit of soap on the spoon. Just getting some on all of them. And then dip them in the water or something. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. Everyone has their own little technique. But start. Line them up just like you were taking them out. And this little hook part goes in like that, so if you grab, you pull. Okay. Now when you pull on these, you want to make sure that you're not grabbing the tube. If you grab the tube, all that pressure is going to pop. You just slide it around a little bit. That's why I put the soap on, so if you did grab the tube, it would just slip right off. Okay, now take the middle one out. Same thing. Okay? But I'll show you at the end it gets really hard. You'll see that in a minute. Just make sure you're not grabbing the tube. It really sucks if you do grab the tube. And it's alright if you do it on your first time. Because that happened to us. But, you know, you'll get better. Okay, so now we're getting pretty close to the end. And you'll notice it starts to get harder and harder. Now I'm going to do a little bit from over here. And you're not going to be able to do, like, big spaces anymore. You got to do small now. Unless you're really strong. See, this is better with 2 people. Because then you can have someone hold one while you're doing the other. Or you can try to hold it with your knee or something like I'm doing. Just keep working at it. And you'll notice if you put a new tire on, it'll get really hard. The new tire is the hardest because the rubber's so hard. Okay, so now I got that much left. I'm just going to go for one shot. Okay? Stick this right in the middle. Make sure you don't got the tube. Now, pull. Okay. So now, you have just changed your first, or, I don't know, However, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Now all you gotta do is pump it up, put the cap on, put it back on your dirt bike. If you want me to show you how to take the tire off of your dirt bike, just tell me in the comments and I'll do that. Thanks for watching. Sorry it's so long. Comment, like, and subscribe.